Good morning. Sorry, yet again, always put off by the big jump in from my camera that leaps in on my face. Hello, I am here to chat to you about a few things that you can look at if you're not getting clients, because sometimes there can be this just sense of I feel like I'm doing everything I should be, and something's not working, something's missing, and I don't know what to do. This isn't working. I'm not sure. I'm not getting clients and I have no clue what to do about it. And there is something so frustrating about that. So I wanted to just come and share 7 areas that you can look at, just to sort of sense check where those gaps might be, because pretty much without fail, it's something to do with one or more of these areas. If you're struggling to get clients, it's one or more of these things that just need some tweaks. Often, usually, it isn't even any kind of massive issue. It can just be some quick tweaks to get you moving forwards again. So, without further ado, actually, no, with a little further ado, let me quickly introduce myself. I'm so used to doing lives in my group where I don't particularly bother introducing myself. Maybe I should, I don't know. But I feel like I definitely should on my page, because there tends to be more people watching here who don't know who I am yet. So, hello, I am Colette Broomhead. I'm a business coach and I work with mums who have service-based businesses. So basically, anyone who works with clients, and I help them to get more of them. Um, I am passionate about working with mums, basically because the reason I started my business was because I was in a corporate role. It was a job I loved, actually, for a company I loved. But as I kind of, hey Kelly, nice to see you. As I was rising up the kind of career ladder, what happened was I was spending more and more time working, more and more time away from home, traveling with work, and I was missing out on time with my 2 little boys, like big time missing out. I was missing, school plays, parents' evenings, school drop-offs for sure. I went a whole year without doing school drop-off and didn't even know what my son's teacher looked like when I did actually manage to make a parents' evening. Doesn't feel good. I am really passionate about helping other mums to create a business that allows you, 3 types of freedom. I've kind of worked out freedom is a big thing for me. It's one of the core values for me and for my business. And the 3 types of freedom that you get from that I kind of, I'm passionate about helping people achieve in their business is financial freedom, of course. When you're helping you to get more clients so that you can make more money, so that you have financial freedom, less stressing about how you're going to pay the bills, feeling guilty because you're always having to say no to the kids and all this kind of stuff. Freedom of time, so that you can actually have that balance. I say balance cautiously. I'm not sure that there ever is an actual balance, but you can have that guilt-free time in your business, doing something that fulfills you, that is creative and challenging, and also guilt-free time outside of work, with your kids, with your family, with your friends, doing other things that you love, relaxing, enjoying life without with constantly feeling like you're being consumed by your job. And then the final freedom is freedom to be you, freedom to show up as you without all these kind of expectations of how you should be, what you should wear, what you should say, how you should say it, and all of this stuff. I am really passionate about helping mums build a business that feels like them, that feels comfortable, that feels good. And that means, building it around your core values, building it around your personality, and building something that feels fun and light for you. So that's me. I'm here to chat to you today about those 7 things that you can check in with if you're struggling to get clients. So let's dive in. The first one, if you have any questions, by the way, whether you're watching live or in the replay, just feel free to pop them in the comments. I will keep an eye out. If you're in the replay watching this, probably a good idea to tag me, otherwise I'm more likely to miss it. Right, so number 1 is your messaging. So this, I'm very conscious that this is a slightly fluffy, marketing, jargony type word. So let me explain what I mean when I say your messaging, because it can be a bit like, messaging, what's that? When I say your messaging, I'm talking about the kind of core information that you need to be clear on and that you need your audience to be clear on in order to sell successfully, in order to really do anything successfully in your business. So the key bits of information I'm talking about. First and foremost, who is it that you're there to serve? Who are these people that you're trying to attract? Who are these people that your service is going to most benefit? If you've been around the online business world, you'll have heard the term ideal client. That's basically what I'm talking about here. Who is your ideal client? The second piece of your messaging is what you do to help them. What is the result that you help them achieve? Now, this can be a sticky one because for most of us, there's going to be more than one thing, right? When someone works with us, there's going to be lots of benefits. There's going to be lots of positive changes that are going to happen. So as an example, for me, when I work with clients, they may well come away with increased confidence. They're going to come away with a better understanding of how to market their business. They might come away with increased copywriting skills, better social media skills. They might come away with a better offer, better sales skills. There's going to be tons and tons and tons of things. However, the core result that I talk about is helping you to get clients, because ultimately all of that stuff is built around helping you to get more clients so that you can make more money, so that you can have that financial freedom and so on. So have a think about what that big result, yes, of course you want to think about all that kind of halo effect of results as well. But what's the one big thing? What's the thing that your ideal clients are coming to you for, that they're going to pull out their purses and pay you for? So that's the second thing. So first of all, who it is you're actually trying to attract in the first place. Second thing, what it is you're helping them with. What's that transformation? What's that result that you help people with? And then third, why should they choose you? What makes you the no-brainer choice for your ideal client? And this can be all sorts of things. This can be your experience, your qualifications, previous results with other clients. It can be just your personality. It could be how you approach what you do. Maybe you've got a special method that you use that no one else is using. Maybe you are someone who is going to be particularly attractive to introverts or to extroverts, or have a think about what makes you ideal for your ideal clients. And those for me are the three kind of core elements of your messaging. And if any of that bit is fuzzy, it can be really difficult to attract the right people and to sell to them. And you will find that a sign that your messaging is off is perhaps you're creating content that just isn't landing. You're kind of getting crickets, not just occasionally. That happens to all of us occasionally. But for the most, if most of your content is getting crickets, that may well be a sign that you need to check in with your messaging. So that's number one. Number two is connections. So this is about reaching new people. And this is key if you want to grow an audience. If you're not doing anything in your business to expand your reach and connect with new people, you are not going to grow an audience. And if you don't have an audience, you're not going to get clients. So you need to make sure when you're planning your marketing that you are planning something in that is going to allow you to connect with new ideal clients. And there's tons and tons of ways that you can do this, and you can absolutely find ways that feel good for you. There'll be some that don't seem right, don't feel like a good fit for you, and there'll be some that feel like slipping on a nice comfy pair of slippers or something. So have a think. What am I doing in my business to build my connections, to reach more ideal clients? So again, so many examples of things that you could be doing to do this. Of course, social media is probably something you're already doing, where you could be networking on social media. You could be going into Facebook groups, for example, other people's Facebook groups, and networking with ideal clients. That's a way you can create connections. You could be creating content on your own social media platform, whether that's Instagram or a Facebook page or Twitter, wherever you may be showing up. That's a way where new people can connect with you, where they can discover you and find out what you're all about. Sorry, I've got something popped up on my screen and it won't go away. It's right across my face. It's really distracting. Another way, blogging, podcasting, doing video content. What else have we got? Guest content, guest blogging, being a guest on someone's podcast, doing guest lives in people's groups, promo threads. There are so many different ways. Okay, so have a think about what are you doing. Or have I lost connection? I've frozen on my screen. I'm not sure if that means I've lost connection. If anyone's watching this, tell me you can still see me. I am not having much luck with my Facebook Lives this week. I've done one every day this week and something's gone wrong with all of them. Okay, I think I'm back. Hopefully I am. Right. So yes, have a think. What am I doing to connect? Your website. If you've got a website, that in itself is a way people can connect with you. They can find your website. They can go and check you out. So that's a way where you can connect with people. So have a think. What am I doing in my business to connect with new people? And you don't need to be doing all of these things. Absolutely not, because it would be totally overwhelming. But you need to be doing something consistently to connect with new people so that you can grow an audience. The third thing is conversations. So this is all about once you've made those connections, once you've found those ideal clients or they found you, basically having a conversation with them. Because in order for someone to become a client, they need to kind of know a bit about who you are. They need to get a sense of whether you're someone they connect with, whether you're someone they actually want to work with. And in order for that to happen, you need to actively do a bit of relationship building. And any relationship, whether inside business or outside business, starts with conversation. So what are you doing in your business to have conversations, to facilitate that relationship building process with the people who are in your audience? So again, there are so many different ways you can do this. A simple conversation starter, of course, is going to start conversations. And it can often feel, because it's such an easy thing to do, it can almost feel like, well, that's not going to do anything. It's too easy. It's just fluff. It's, that's just kind of tick box exercise content and all this kind of stuff. If you're using conversation starters strategically, they are incredibly useful, incredibly powerful in creating conversations and relationship building for you and your ideal clients. Not only does it start a conversation, and any relationship, as we've said, starts that way, but also it gives you a fantastic opportunity to learn more about who your ideal clients are. I was chatting to a client yesterday, saying just a simple question like, tea or coffee, which do you prefer? Yes, it may not be related at all to what you do in your business, but it helps you seem more human, and it gives you an insight into who your ideal clients are, and gives that relationship a sort of a more personal feel. So absolutely think about sprinkling in conversation starters and sort of chattiness like that into your marketing. Other ways you can connect with your audience, anything that's like really relatable. When you're creating relatable content, then that helps build that connection. And it also encourages conversation, because we like to talk about things that we feel we know about. So when you're creating relatable content for your audience, that's something they feel that they can talk about, because it's, if it's relatable to them, it's something that they've experienced or they know about. And so they're going to feel happy kind of chatting about it too and sharing their opinions. So think about the types of things that are going to be really relatable. Now, a good way to do this, if you are someone in your business who has been your own ideal client, then that's a great opportunity for you to share a relatable story about perhaps where you've come from. And on the understanding that your ideal clients are also in that, experiencing that right now. That's going to be super relatable. But it doesn't need to be like something really deep and vulnerable. Relatable content can just be as light and easy as just a silly meme that your audience would relate to. I could put a meme out there about life as a mum, and I know my audience will relate to it, and it's something we can all have a giggle about. So think about what that would look like for your audience, and where you can sprinkle in that kind of relatable content too. So another thing to think about is what space have you created for that relationship building. The best relationship building happens in a space that feels like safe, and where people can have the conversation, and not be cautious about what they're saying and so on. So for me, I love Facebook groups for this. So I, as you know, I have a Facebook group, Fully Booked Mums, in case you don't know. Come and join us. And you know, that's a place where I love to have conversations and you know, build that sort of community feel. Hey Sarah, nice to see you. Another great place for this to happen is an email list, because you're going into someone's inbox, and you, with an email, you have the opportunity to personalize, to talk to that person directly, rather than, you know, en masse as a big group. So email can work really, really well for that relationship building, that conversation. Invite someone to reply to you, ask them a question in your email, and you know, and engage, you know, invite them to reply, so that you can again start that conversation. So that's what we on? Number 3. So we've had check in with your messaging, check what connections you're creating, what are you doing to go out and reach new ideal clients, what are you doing to facilitate conversation and relationship building with the people in your audience. Number 4 is conversion. So this is where you need to start talking about the things that you're selling. So if you're struggling to get clients, how often are you talking about your services? How often are you sharing what it is that you do and how people can work with you, and what that looks like? You know, what those results are that you help people with, you know, and all of that stuff. Because if people don't know that, that's probably why you're not getting clients. And believe me, I know this because I fell foul to this very mistake in the first 6 months or so of my own business, where I could not figure out why I wasn't getting clients. And it took another business coach to come in, and I started working with them and say, Colette, you're not selling. You know, you don't talk about your offers anywhere. I literally had a work with me page on my website, and that was it. I was just kind of, you know, doling out all this lovely free value, blogging every week, doing Facebook Lives, doing all of that fantastic stuff, but never actually telling anyone that I had a way that they could work with me to get, you know, more support. So check in, and how often, you know, do you share this stuff with your audience? Often this is a place where we hold back, because it feels, you know, anything that feel where we're promoting ourselves, promoting our offers, it can feel a bit pushy, it can feel a bit awkward. We know we don't want to come across as spammy or annoying or all of this stuff. So I just want you to reframe that and remember the fact that if you are attracting an audience of people who are your ideal clients, they're your ideal clients because they need and want the service that you have to offer. And by not sharing that with them, you are not serving them. You're not pushing this on them. You know, hopefully, I can't imagine anyone here being the kind of person that's going to be sort of sleazy and pushy. That sales absolutely does not need to be that way. What you're doing is you're letting people know that this is available in case they're interested. And if they're ideal clients, they probably are interested. So again, like, you're not serving people by not talking about this stuff. And if someone does find it pushy or annoying or boring or spammy, that's because they're not your ideal client. And so that's fine. They can leave that your audience. And, you know, no loss on either side. Bear that in mind. Check in with how often you're talking about your offers and how often you're inviting people to have a sales conversation with you. Which brings me to number 5, which is sales conversations. So what do those look like in your business? How do you feel about them? Because oftentimes sales conversation can feel super orcs. You know, we've got the invitation. So this is the conversion. This is the bit where you're going, hey, I've got this thing. You know, it's going to help you do this, this, and this. It's for this person. You know, it's for you if you're XYZ. If you're interested, do XYZ. Right? That's essentially what your kind of invitation looks like. But then, if someone says, "Hey, yeah, I'm interested," then you've got to have a sales conversation with them. You've got to actually talk about money and prices, and you know, if it is a good fit for them, and so on. And that can feel super duper orcs, especially the money bit. People, you know, it's a tough conversation if it's not something that you're used to doing. If it's something where you're perhaps uncomfortable about your pricing, you know, perhaps there's an issue of, you know, lack of belief there, whether you think that you should be charging this much, whether you believe that people will pay this much. There's all that going on in your head, making a sales conversation often super tricky, super awkward, not a very fun situation. So how can we turn that around? For me, it's a lot of mindset work, right? It's a lot of getting comfortable with your pricing, and really looking at that and making sure it's a number that you're happy with. It's about really getting comfortable, really looking at what you believe around your offer, your ability, and all of this. It's about separating your own self-worth from the offer that you're selling, because they're two totally different things. You can't put a price on your self-worth. You are an amazing human being. That is priceless. The thing that you're selling is totally separate from that. So there's lots, and ultimately sales is a skill, right? So it could be, maybe you need to read a book, maybe you need to do a course, maybe you just need to practice. I did 30 discovery calls before I got my first client, because I was practicing. I hadn't done it before, and I was testing out new skills. I was testing out the things that I was learning about, to see what felt good for me, what didn't feel good. There were some things I tried that I thought, you know what, that didn't feel great. I'm not sure I'm going to do that again. And it took time to build a process that felt good for me and that I felt confident with, and happy with, in terms of it being aligned with my values. And the same will be true for you. So check in with your sales conversations. What are you doing? Is this something that you've just been sort of papering over and rushing through and thinking, and kind of ignoring because it all feels a bit uncomfortable? Is it something that just needs a bit of practice? Is it not something that perhaps you need to get some support with, just to check in and make sure that you're not missing something in your selling, and so on? So that's number 5. We've got messaging, connections, conversations, conversions, sales conversations. The next thing is your offer itself, right? So if you're struggling to get clients, check in with your actual offer. The very first question I always ask myself is this something I'm excited to sell? Do I feel excited about this offer? Because if the answer is no, you probably need to check back in and have a look at why that is and what you can do to turn it into something that you're excited to sell. Because if you don't feel excited to sell, whatever it is your offer is, then chances are, your ideal clients aren't going to feel particularly excited to buy. And if they're not feeling excited to buy, they're not going to buy. So check in. Very first question: am I excited about this offer? Do I feel, excited to go out and share it with people? And if the answer is no, look at why that is. Is there something about the offer that you need to change? Is there something about your mindset, perhaps your own self-belief, that you need to kind of check in with and reflect on, as to, maybe you don't, this, some kind of imposter syndrome going on, or, this feeling of not good enough and all of that kind of stuff. So have a look at your offer. Very first question: is this something I'm excited to sell? The second question is, have I validated this offer? If I'm excited, have I double checked that this is definitely something that my audience wants? And I said wants there, not needs, because a common error when it comes to your offer is that, as the kind of experts in our fields, we know what our audience needs to get the result that they want, and so we focus solely on that. I always use this example because I've yet to kind of come up with a better one, but I like this example, so I'll use it again. If you're a fitness coach, right, that your ideal client needs to eat healthily, right? You know that your ideal client needs to exercise regularly. And so you build an offer where you're going to teach them, healthy eating, some great exercises they can do, and all of this stuff. Now, that's all true, but what your ideal client wants is something like, losing weight. I want to lose a stone so that I can fit into the dress I want to wear to my friend's wedding, right? I want to lose a stone so that when we go on holiday this summer, I can, wear my bikini on the beach without feeling like a washed up whale. These are the things that they want. That is what they're going to pay money for. They may, they get that they're going to need to eat healthily and they're going to need to do exercise to get there, but that's not what they're paying for. They're paying for the result. They're paying for the lost weight so that they can wear that bikini, so that they can go to their mate's wedding and feel gorgeous. So if we're not speaking to those wants, we are going to struggle to sell our offer. So check in with all of that stuff with your offer. And then my final one is perhaps the most important of all, and that is mindset. Because I honestly believe that all the great strategy, all the great skills in the world will not help you if your mindset is off, if you are struggling with your own self-belief, if you are struggling to, if you don't believe that you or your offer is good enough, that of course is going to come across in everything, in your content, in your, how you present yourself, in your sales. So mindset, and this isn't a thing where you get to go and spend an hour on mindset and they go, check, that's my mindset sorted, on to the next thing. This is ongoing work, right? This is about building in habits, finding the right tools so that when this stuff crops up, we have a way to deal with it, because it will crop up. We all have these mindset things that go on, whether it's around money, what we're charging, whether it's around fear of judgment, what people are going to think of us, whatever it looks like. There's probably elements of all of these things floating around in our lovely heads. So the key here is to recognize those things for what they are, and have those habits, have those tools, have that awareness, so that when that stuff crops up, you are able to deal with it. Because if that lingers, if it goes unchecked, that can hold you back for months. It can hold you back for years. So this stuff is super duper important. Whatever that support looks like, for me, I now know that I need to prioritize time to journal, because it really helps me to get stuff out of my head and onto paper. These days I mainly do it on the laptop. But either way, get it out of my head and into some form of logical, sentences, really, really helps with me. Another thing that really, really helps with me is learning. This was a big light bulb moment actually very recently for me. There's a lot of talk online around how learning we can get stuck in learning, right? And it can keep us frozen because it feels safe to be learning. It feels less safe to go out and actually taking action and doing something about that learning. And so for a lot of people, it can be something that holds us back. And that had sort of made me feel a bit wary about my love of learning, to the point where I was kind of stopping myself. What I realised, and this was thanks to another fantastic coach called Ray Dodd, who I'm working with at the moment in her group program, who pointed this out, because the same was true for her, that actually for me, when I put myself in learning mode, when I'm listening to podcasts or reading books, listening to audiobooks, all of that stuff, it inspires me. It actually gets me back in flow again, so that I want to go and take action. So for me, that's a big one. I now know that I need to prioritize that. I need to give myself some time to sort of soak in and get that inspiration every day. And then the third one for me is getting outside and out into nature, and moving my body, and getting away from it all, and giving myself some space. So those are three things that I really try to prioritize, especially when I'm in the kind of more hectic, overwhelming situations. If I'm doing a launch, if my mindset really is messing with me at the moment, those are the times when I will most likely want to drop all of that stuff and just kind of wallow. But those are the times I now know that I have to really prioritize it. I really have to make sure I do that stuff, because that's what gets me out of it fastest. So I hope that this has been helpful. I think it's been probably a slightly longer live than I normally do on a Wednesday, but I think it's valuable stuff. I hope you found it helpful. I'm not going to go without inviting you to a sales conversation, because I am currently running, or no, I'm not currently running, I'm currently about to run the beta version of a new group program, which I am super excited about. It's called Freedom. If you were watching from the start, you'll know that I was saying that that's a core value of mine. It's a 12-week program. Because it's a beta program, anyone who joins is going to get a 50% discount, so it's going to be £500 for the 12 weeks. Each week you're going to get pre-recorded trainings, 2 to 3 videos, short videos. The whole lot together will take 45 minutes or so to complete most weeks. We're going to have a live group coaching call each week, but that will be recorded, so if there's any you can't make, that's totally cool, and you can watch the recordings. So that's the kind of setup. The idea behind the program is basically, this is for you if you're at that point in your business where you have you've got that messaging, but maybe it still feels a bit fluffy. You're building an audience, but it feels like frustratingly slow. You're getting the odd client, but it kind of feels still a bit fluky, not necessarily repeatable. And what you're looking for is like a framework. You're looking for something that feels more repeatable, more consistent, less like kind of chucking stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. If that sounds like you, if you're interested, we're going to be covering basically all of the stuff that I've talked about in this video. We're going to be going deep into your messaging and really getting some clarity on that. We're going to be looking at your marketing, how to build an audience, how to nurture those relationships, how to make those invitations, how to sell. We're going to be really working on the mindset and looking at what works for you. We're going to be digging into things like your values, your purpose, your vision, and how that can actually be implemented and made more kind of practical in terms of your day-to-day business. I'm super excited about it, as I said. If you would like to come and join me, or even if you're just a bit interested and you'd like to know more, let me know. Sarah says this has been really useful. Oh, good. I'm so pleased. Excellent. Let me know, and I will I've created just a PDF that has got, well, hopefully all the information on. But obviously, if you read the PDF and you have questions, come back to me, and we can either have a chat by email or by message, or we can jump on a quick Zoom and I will chat to you there, whichever is easiest for you. This is not going to be a pushy sale, because as I've talked about today, that is not what I'm about. I'm a big believer in everything else doing the legwork for me. You know, my content, my marketing, me being me, hopefully doing the legwork so that you either kind of know, yeah, this is someone I'm interested in working with, or not, and you know, and we will leave it there. So anyway, if you're interested, let me know. I will send you the PDF and we'll take it from there. Have a wonderful day, and I shall speak to you soon. Take care.